There was something in this reread that just altered my brain chemistry. My battery's low. Okay, we're gonna make the intro really fast. Today's video is going to be all about Miss Emily Henry herself, one of my favorite auto by authors for romance. Of course, this is specifically all for funny story, but I thought it would be fun to reread some of my two favorites, rank all of the books, all of the Emily Henry men. And my whole week ended up being dedicated to Emily Henry. And I will give you my non-spoiler thoughts on all of the books. But before getting into that, I do quickly want to talk about Aardvark Book Club. So many different type of book subscriptions. I wanted to share the one that I personally love. I started using them back in October. Basically, Aardvark Book Club at the beginning of every month gives you different book options from a variety of genres, authors, some up and coming books. They've put so many books on my radar that I hadn't known about yet that have become my all-time favorite. And these are the two books that I picked for the month of April. Expiration Dates by Rebecca Surley. And the one that I am so excited for is Chain Gang All-Stars. I love the covers that Aardvark Book Club specifically does for their editions. So if you want to try Aardvark Book Club for your first time, I have a code. So you can get your first box for $4. And it is for US residents only. For the price of a hardcover, this beautiful baby cost me $27. And add-ons with Aardvark Book Club are $9.99 for hardcovers that look this good. For all of the editions that I have, this is the current stack. Now 12:07. I have been reading on and off this morning. I am on page 120. They are on the date at the little fair. I never thought that a book would be better in top book lovers. Book Lovers by Emily Henry has been my all-time favorite book. Nobody tops Charlie Lastra in my eyes until this reread. And I never would have thought that I would say that about Gus Everett. And the other thing, he's a literary fiction author. Why did I think that he was like a history writer or something? Barely started. The little interactions that they've had, I've already loved. And on top of that, just the setting. I know it's technically beach read, but it's a lake. And their houses are right next to each other. Their windows can see right through one another. They're already writing their little notes and popping them up like the Taylor Swift music video. And this is just so cute. I don't know what I didn't see the first time. So actually, yeah, let me talk about the first time I read this book. This was back in, I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was 2022 when I read this book. This is one of the first books that I read getting back into reading because you go on TikTok. Emily Henry and a couple of other handful of authors always pop up. And so I decided to pick up Beach Read. I did not remember it being as enjoyable as this. I don't know why I didn't really enjoy it the first time around. I'm pretty sure I gave it maybe a 3 out of 5. The original copy that I had, I ended up giving to a friend and letting her read it. And so I didn't keep it. Online, people love this book. They rave about this book. They absolutely love Gus. And since I forgot a couple of details in the beginning, I'm interested to see what else I forgot as the story moves along. I remember general big points that had happened throughout, but not a lot of little details. So that is my current update for right now. I feel myself getting emotional, and I don't remember feeling that way the first time I read this book. This is heavy. This isn't a very light read. There's a lot going on here. And I completely forgot about Gus's big secret and what happened the day that they met. Now a lot of the book is coming back to me, and so far I'm appreciating it so much more the second time around. We need an update on the reading. My allergies are so bad today. Anyway, I'm wearing this emotionally attached to fictional character support group after reading these two back to back. Finished this last night. immediately started Book Lovers. I am on page 156, chapter 13 of Book Lovers so far. And now I feel torn because I remember why I loved Book Lovers so much. I relate so much to Nora and the sibling dynamic. I still really, really liked Beach Read, but now that I started reading this again, I'm like, before I keep talking about this one, let me finish up with Beach Read. I really liked the ending. I did forget a little bit on how it went. I really liked January a whole lot more the second time around. I appreciated Gus so much more. I think the overall concept is so cute. And I like that they covered a bit of heavier themes with January's grief with her father and with Gus's situation that was going on. I want to keep this spoiler free, so I'm not going to get into that. But I did like how that all unfolded, how they had those conversations, and I really enjoyed the dynamic between them. It's something that Emily Henry's always so good at doing, is the banter, and the banter was really good in this. That's where I'm at for right now. I wanted to make a coffee and read a bit more of this, but I'm at the part now where her sister basically made a list of all of these rom-com things that she wants her and Nora to do while they are at this small town. The sister wanted to spend some time and kind of reconnect their bond after she's had children, and Nora's super busy with work, to just have time for themselves and go through this list of things that they wanted each other to do. So the sister set her up on a blind date with the guy, and they happen to be at this restaurant that of course Charlie is at. They have a run-in and they are talking, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Also really helpful that Book Lovers is on Spotify Premium for their audiobook. So I have been listening to this whenever I have to do quick things around the house. I like to follow along with the physical book as I read or listen to my audiobook. Right? Right. Okay, I'm gonna make my coffee now. Octavia Butler, I miss them. Can I just say, I love how well read Emily Henry's male characters are. Gus read Roxane Gay, or he had her in his library. He also had Toni Morrison. And then Charlie is over here talking about Octavia Butler. A well-read man is so attractive. From reading, but I am back and I am currently on page 304. I have very little left. We are at the part where the sisters are finally talking about everything that kind of has been shoved under the rug. I get why people aren't as big of a fan as this one, because it focuses a lot more on the sibling dynamic. Or those moments do take away from the romantic relationship that we still were able to get in Beach Read. I like it personally, again, because I can relate to it, so I get where that's coming from. I also really like getting the back-end perspective of the editors and the agents. I don't know how realistic this is to what they really do or how involved they are with these books. It is really interesting to read about and something different that I don't really read in a lot of my books. So I do like that aspect of it as well. Every chapter, I'm just like, there's nothing that Charlie Lester can't do. He's still number one for me. Well, who knows, because I still have to read Funny Story tomorrow. But as of right now, he is still number one for me. And I say all of this now, but then I go on TikTok and I see people do edits of Charlie and Gus. And when I see Gus, I'm like, maybe I do like Gus more. But then when I read what Charlie does, I'm like, no, I like Charlie more. Have you guys seen, someone did a, let me show you. It was an edit and they had Logan Lerman as Gus. Can you believe? I don't know if you guys also were in your Percy Jack phase like I was, but let me show you. Someone searched up Beach Read Gus Everett's dad. I get it. Come on, does that not look like the best? Wait, let me look up Charlie. I haven't even done that. I gotta make this quick because I don't think I'm allowed to park here, but happy Emily Henry release day. I finally have my copy of Funny Story. I am done with work. I just dropped my sister off for a class and I need to pick her up in an hour. So I'm just gonna stay in the area. I was thinking of reading in my car, but it is so hot all of a sudden and all I have is this sweater. So I think I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, get a little treat. When I was getting this book, the cashier told me, she was like, wait, he has Crocs on. And I was like, hee hee ha ha, no. She was like, no, really, he does. They put Crocs on this man. So as a refresh for everyone, the initial couple is Daphne and Peter. They are engaged. They break off the engagement and Peter goes with someone new named Petra. Petra has an ex named Miles. Daphne needs a roommate, so she asks Miles, and it is a fake dating little thing that they have going on to try to get under the skin of Peter and Petra. And that is all that I know, but I'm really excited to read. Update. I am home. I barely got to read anything. I'm on page 20. I get to go sit on the couch and read some more of this. I think I'm gonna go back to the other playlist that I listened to because whenever they have other songs, I just get so distracted and I can't focus on what I'm reading because I'm listening to the song. And then I have to reread parts. The first song is from Howl's Moving Castle. I like it already. Can I just say, men will always have the audacity. Peter, that's a crazy move. But I will say, Daphne talking about working with the kids during story time because she is a librarian, that melted my heart because I used to work with kids and it was such a rewarding job. It makes me miss working with kids. That's such a sweet little thing to add. And then you get home to this news, the audacity. He works at a winery. Bonus points for Miles. I think he is the croc wearing dude. Hasn't been confirmed just yet, but signs are pointing to yes. Okay, I've been reading for a little bit. I'm on page 106. They are definitely growing on me. I really, really love that Daphne is a librarian and she hosts these read-alouds with the children on Saturdays. They are doing this fundraiser at the end of summer, so that is our time frame of trying to fake date to convince Daphne to stay. Miles is going to take her around town and show her all these different places that she never went to with Peter because Peter was more of a routine, strict diet type of guy and Miles is the exact opposite, but in a really good way. So it's really helping her get out of her shell and see new parts of town. Miles is definitely growing on me and I like the fake dating element so far. Also, update on the reading playlist. I love it. It is so good. What else? I think Miles is just really laid back. There was something over here he said that I liked. You don't give other people responsibility for your feelings. You can have a decent relationship with most of them. He doesn't take a lot of things personally. He just seems like such a free spirit. They just met up and yes, he was late, but he brought her a coffee because he noticed that she had a coffee cup on her desk from a certain coffee place and he went to that same coffee place to get her something. I love the attention to detail, so if he's a little late, that's okay. The first run-in, but I don't even care about that. What I care about is the fact that Peter gets all of his groceries from all of the sustainable farms and he knows which one to go to. And apparently he has like a full beard going on. And all the women are swooning for this man. They were calling him the hot drug dealer. The guy that looks like the hot drug dealer in shops at the farmers markets. What a combination. Emily Henry, she does it again, folks. I said it at the beginning and I'll say it again, the audacity, Peter. Are you joking? Peter's like the type of guy that always thinks he's in the right and he's doing the right thing because he's the bigger person. No, you're not. Exactly. I gotta sit up for this. Oh my gosh. Miles brought up Norman Rockwell, AKA he's probably listened to the Lana album, AKA he just shot up on the list of Emily Henry men. Yep, that makes sense. And you know what? Bringing up Norman Rockwell is the perfect thing that you could do because you listen to the lyrics, you're just a man. It's just what you do. We're talking to Peter, we're not talking to Miles right now. Am I making the jump by assuming that he listens to Lana Del Rey? Yes. Now I want to listen to Lana. I'm going to take a quick break and listen to the song. It is reading update time. I took a big break from reading after just seeing the name Norman Rockwell. I went and I listened to the entire album. I went on a nice long walk, had dinner. I went back to reading. I am now on page 200, which is the start of chapter 18. I like that we're focusing more on the friendship aspect as well, not just with Miles, but I feel like when you are in a relationship for a long time, especially the one that Daphne was in, she uprooted her whole life from what she knew to be with Peter and was basically there for him, with him, did what he liked, met his friends, and just completely immersed herself in his world, that when they broke up, she is trying to figure out everything. Not only if she wants to stay there, but she doesn't have any friends, and seeing her slowly break out of her shell and find her own interests, not just things that Peter liked to do, but things that she actually likes to do, and gain this sense of agency back. I think I love Gus and I love Charlie Lastra, but they don't feel like real men. I haven't met someone like that in real life, but Miles feels real. I don't know how to explain. I just think, like, in what world would I find a man like him that lives in a big city, that went to a small little town, and I liked the traits, but overall as a whole person, I'm like, where would you find a man like that on the street? What city? I can't really explain it, but Miles just feels more attainable, but he still meets the criteria of an Emily Henry man. I need to sleep on it. I need to think of the right way to explain it. But if you've read the book, let me know if you feel that way. It is 9:20. I do have work early tomorrow, so I think I'm just going to get ready for bed, read a little more, maybe get up to page 300. This is my second coffee of the day because I stayed up until 12 when I had to wake up at 4:45 to finish this book. Last time I said, oh, I'm gonna read a little bit, I'll probably read up to page 300 and then finish it up in the morning. I read everything last night, got ready for bed, took a little nap, woke up, and I said, okay, let me start reading just for a little bit. I didn't realize how quickly I hit the third act break because I was just so consumed. And then when I reached the third act break, I was like, okay, well now I'm in it, so might as well just stick it through. And I wish I kind of would have savored it, but let's talk about my overall thoughts. Of course, I spent part of the day going online, seeing other people's reviews and reactions to the characters, to the story overall, and trying to get a feel for what everyone thought. I feel like Emily Henry's books in general are very polarizing. You either really love the story or you really do not like it. That happened a lot with Happy Place, so people we meet on vacation. And I happen to really like Funny Story. Final thoughts for Funny Story. Overall, I really loved the book. I had such a good time with it. I didn't think I would like the characters as much as I did. I love that Emily Henry incorporates her characters liking books in some way or another, hence being authors, a publicist, and an editor, now working at a public library, which I love that she did that. It's a nice little add-in for us book lovers. Her male characters never disappoint. Again, everyone has their preference, but they never disappoint. There's something about how Emily Henry writes her men that just gets me every single time, and I think she always will because they are just that good. And I don't even think I ever talked a lot about how Miles is described. They call him like the hot drug dealer aesthetic, but he is a golden retriever guy. And the other traits that I mentioned, that he shops sustainably and he's very big on supporting the local businesses. He goes to farmers markets to get his produce for the meals that he makes at home. He pays attention to the little things. His love language is acts of service. What more could I want, honestly? Pretty sure I mentioned that Miles works at a winery. Funny enough, I'm actually going to a winery after I finish filming this. There was just something about him time that I really liked that when I initially started reading, it felt very different to a lot of the Emily Henry men. Let me put this down. Daphne as a character, I also really enjoyed seeing her journey, again, leaving this long relationship, try to figure out a new community, because the other thing is the relationship that she had with her parents growing up. She never had that stability. The dad was in and out of the picture, but I love that they focused that one of the main things growing up in general was just going to the library, and how she talked about a library being such a safe space for her. It was the one consistent thing throughout all of her years that she got to go to this place and just escape what was going on, and it was such a comfort. And so as an adult, it's a comfort that she wants to provide back to the children that always go, and how involved she was in that. I liked how big of a central point it was throughout the whole story. And a big thing that really tugged at my heartstrings was Miles understanding that, and not only in a basic level of like, yeah, that's so cool that you do that you do like the Saturday readings and you're there for the kids, but he would go on Saturdays just to listen to her read a children's book and always go with her favorite coffee order. Whether he had the time or he was just running in for like a quick little drop off and heading out the door. Acts of service, people, we love that. But he not only appreciated that trait in Daphne, he supported it through the readathon that you learn about when you go further into the story. So I really loved that aspect. I like that her characters all have very different attachment styles. How it's highlighted in the book, I think, has a big reason why people prefer some stories or some characters over others, which makes sense. But I understand Miles is all I'm trying to say. I get why he did what he did. I also liked the friend Ashley. I think what happened with them was very realistic, and it added more to the story. It didn't take away. I didn't feel like, oh, that's a part that I need to skim because I want to get back to Miles and Daphne. I liked Daphne alone, Miles alone, Daphne and Ashley, and the other characters that we meet. And this book definitely makes my top 3. So now we need to go into ranking the books. I think I'm going to do 2 different ranking systems. We are going to rank the Emily Henry books, and then we are going to rank the Emily Henry men, because they are different. So I think we're going to start with the books first. Ranking the Emily Henry books. For 5th place, People We Meet on Vacation. Nothing against it. Friends to Lovers just isn't really for me, and it's not a story that's very memorable. It was just kind of in one ear, out the other. I would rate it 2.75. Next up, surprisingly, is Happy Place. I actually really loved Happy Place the first time that I read it, but the longer that I've sat with it, I'm not a big fan of it anymore, especially compared to her other 3. It felt impactful when I read it, but it didn't leave a lasting impact. And Emily Henry's other books I've resonated with a lot more. So I would put Happy Place as 4th, and I would give it a 3 out of 5. And then shocker, we know my top 3, the top 3 that I read for this video. Can you tell that I didn't sleep that well? But ranking these 3 is so difficult. I think I would have to do Funny Story for number 3 out of 4.5. Each Read number 2 out of 4.75. And then Book Lovers out of 5.5. And let me explain. These 2 are really neck and neck. If you take the sister element out of this, I would go this one first and this one second. This one's still second, even if you remove the sister element, because truly to a T, I am Nora. Give or take a couple of things, but like, I resonated so much with Nora. I love Charlie Laster as a character, and the sister dynamic on top of that, easy 5 stars. If I wasn't though, what I loved about Beach Read is Gus and January just sold it for me. I love that they're both writers, especially that Gus is a literary fiction writer, my favorite genre ever. The fact that they're neighbors and they just go to Lake Michigan, while she also deals with the grief of losing a family member, her parent. I loved so many of their moments as a couple. So overall, the book as a whole, 4.75. But again, because this book impacted me so personally, it felt like I was being targeted, 5 out of 5. But they're neck and neck. And this book is still solid at a 4.5. It's just compared to the other 2, I would have to say this one is still top 3, 100%. But now we need to rank the Emily Henry men. And the ranking is very different. So for the Emily Henry men, out of the 5, in 5th place, Alex from People We Meet on Vacation. Just don't remember much at all about him. 4th place, for similar reasons. And I think just his personality wouldn't blend with mine. The fact that I don't know his name is awful. Let me search it. Win from Happy Place, 4th place. 3rd place is actually going to be Charlie Lastra from Book Lovers, because I do love him. And if I would have made this video before rereading Beach Read, I would have felt differently, and I probably would have put him higher on the list. If I had to compare Charlie or Augustus, I think I would lean more Augustus. And then we could talk about the books, and he could tell me what he was writing as a literary fiction author. And they both are family oriented, but I liked it more with Gus, and I just felt like deep down he is this romantic softie, which you could argue the same for Charlie, but there was just something about Gus, okay? There was something in this reread that just altered my brain chemistry and just told me he's number 2. And unfortunately, Charlie is now number 3. Which leads me to number 2, which is Augustus Everett from Beach Read. And shockingly enough, the man who took his place is Miles from Funny Story, which I was not expecting at all. But again, men written by Emily Henry are just different. And I think I liked more the aesthetic of Miles, what he does, his relationship with his sister. And I think there's like the older sibling in me, but I really liked that. I love his attention to detail. Acts of service is the love language that I want to receive love, and that is what Miles did from the very beginning. So like easy number 1 for me. It was actually pretty hard to rank, but I finally did it. And then I guess I will do this video again in a year whenever Emily Henry releases another book that we finish in 24 hours, that I finish in 24 hours. Beyond that, I need to finish this coffee. But yeah, that was everything. And thanks for watching. My feet are asleep.